I'm Melisa from Zimbabwe, and Young Volunteers for the Environment, which works with the young people in amplifying their voices, capacity building, and also making sure that they understand the climate change narrative and also the food systems narrative. That is being the main topics within the climate change area. Thank you. Well, being the first African Youth Summit on food systems, it means a lot. Because in as much as we, the young people of Africa, we've been advocating, campaigning for climate justice and everything, we never thought of the food systems. Because of course, climate is changing, but we also need to think of our diets. We also need to think of our nutrition, our health, as the current and the future generation, of what is going to happen to the next generations to come, and what is it that is lacking currently, and what are the challenges that we are going to face if climate continues to change. So it is a great opportunity that has been brought to us as the African youth, because we are now able to raise our voices, our concerns out there that, okay, as African young people, this is what we want, and these are the challenges, these are the solutions that we are proposing to our leaders at the global level, continental level as well. The topic of agriculture nowadays within the young people space, it has become silent. A lot of us are no longer motivated to become farmers or take part in the agricultural sector. So what I think is maybe we need to redefine the agricultural perspective. We need to remodel it such that to the young people it becomes attractive. So for the young people right now, we think that agriculture is too laborious. There is no money in agriculture, but that is a lie. So what if us as the current young people who are there, who knows the opportunities, and also our leaders who are out there, we then remodify the agricultural narrative that, okay, we as young people, because I believe we have a duty to produce, but right now we don't have that duty. We need to know that we need to produce. We cannot consume forever. At some point, we need to produce these products. We need to think of, okay, what are we eating? How are we going to produce that? So if the young people are more capacitated with the knowledge, the opportunities, because right now, more people are focused on money. The young people, they are looking for white-collar jobs. So why don't the leaders go there, out there, and say, okay, young people, you are saying, you are crying out that there's no employment, but you can create employment through agriculture. These are the opportunities. You need to feed the nations. You need to feed your people within the communities. So why don't you just identify what is not there within the communities? I think in different communities, there are different climatic conditions. Some are hot, some are dry, some are wet, they are so different. So if they are all identified, we then go there, we capacitate those youth. I think by so doing, we teach them, we give them maybe a portion of inputs, we put them in groups, give them a portion of inputs, such that thing will be used as a case study. If we go to another area, we say, okay, this is what has been done with other youths. I think by doing so, we'll be able to revive that, and the youth will get more interest in the agricultural sector. Like, okay, we now need to produce, because we need to learn to produce. It's a priority that we as young people, we must take note of. It's our responsibility. If we don't take that responsibility right now, nobody is going to do that for us. On this one, there is need to reconnect, because we've been raised thinking that agroecology, or more like indigenous knowledge, it's only about Africa. And most of the people, they don't take those matters seriously, because they will be thinking that it's all about, it's an African thing, or it's a cultural thing. So us growing up, we've been raised thinking that if you take cultural knowledge or indigenous knowledge, you are now running away from your Christianity background. If you're a Christian, if you are maybe a Muslim, you are now running away from that, whichever religion you follow. So we now need to reconnect. How do we do that? There are intergenerational learning dialogues. We can learn from our elders, so that we can now know what they used to do before, how they did that, how they survived. Because before, the indigenous knowledge, they knew how to conserve. If there were farms, if there were forests, they knew how to do that. Also on farming, they used to do organic farming that didn't harm the environment. So right now, what is becoming a challenge is because we are now using chemicals. That's not indigenous knowledge. Because if we take a look at our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our forefathers, we take a look back at the history of we as Africans, how they used to survive. We can see that, okay, they were so healthy, they were so nutritious, such that they were able to live long. So right now, why can't we just reroute, we reconnect with them? We go out there, I'm sure we as African young people, we all have our grandparents, they are still there, our great-grandparents are still there. So if we go there, we just sit with them. Granny, how did you survive during this time? How did you do your things? By doing so, they will be happy to share that knowledge. And they will tell you how they used to conserve even the seeds. So this is not something that we as Africans, we need to shy away from. No, we need to be proud of our cultures. We need to be proud of our history, where we came from. So intergenerational learning dialogues will help a lot. And also educating the others who are still in universities, in schools. So we need to catch them young as well, those who are still in primary schools or in secondary schools. Otherwise, if we don't do that, we'll also be damaging them as well. It's more like we will be killing the next generations to come. So we need to also deal with those within schools, such that they are well equipped with the knowledge of how things used to work. So it's all about a matter of reconnection and rerouting back to our roots. Thank you.